And welcome back to another edition of Big Apple Hockey's The Final Buzzer. You know me, I'm your host, Philk. And this is a big, big win tonight for the New York Rangers, coming back from the Christmas break with a big 5-1 victory over the Washington Capitals, who spanked the Rangers in Washington last week. And happy birthday, Diane. Very, very happy birthday for you then. So that's a big win. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of good here, and we're going to get into that. I don't think I'm going to really do it in like a final, a good, bad, and ugly type form anymore, just because I think there's a better way of doing this. I think it's less formulaic. It's more open to discussion, and it's more open to comments being, entered in and brought up into the chat throughout the broadcast. I'll kind of do it also more like what's the word I'm looking for? Having to do with time. I can't believe I'm brain farting on this word right now. In a time sequence type way, just to kind of go along with the flow of the game. I'm forgetting the word right now. I can't believe I'm forgetting. I think it begins with like a C or an S. I'm not even sure of what I'm out of here. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing, but it's the same. Don't you break my balls. I know you're a ball breaker, David, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good. We'll start off with the first period. And I have the tickers going along here. I'll flash the goals on the ticker at the bottom. Put in a little twist to things here, but it's a feel out kind of first period from them. Seems like both teams were just kind of like feeling things out. Oh yeah, that was bad. I was watching the game with a friend who I usually watch with, and we were watching the Ranger game. We go in the intermission to watch the Islanders. Pittsburgh scores. They go up 1-0. The continuation goal, that call. The Islanders fans are not happy about that one, but the Rangers kind of got screwed by that same kind of call against Jersey back in November when Igor first came back in his first game with that goal that squeaked through. So, we go back to that, and then all of a sudden, I check the score again, and 6-0. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, what just happened? But the Islanders were. Anthony was not happy. I can tell you, the Islander fans are probably not happy tonight. So, but a feel out first period. It just seemed like both teams were just trying to play good, solid defense. Weren't trading a lot of high danger chances. Kind of feeling each other out. Seeing who will make the first mistake, and kind of a boring first period, but neither team really played good or bad defensively, just kind of evenly played. Shots favored Washington 10-7, I believe, but not a bad first period. And then the Rangers come out in the second period, and it's a slow start for the Rangers. Capitals look good. They capitalized on a bad pinch by Adam Fox that led to the 2-on-1 that Anthony Mantha scored on. They weren't looking good at that point. But this team has a habit of responding very well. And that they did. So the Rangers then strike back with 3 of them. Keandre Miller being the first one on the backhand. Great play from Zibanejad and Panarin. Then you have the Panarin power play goal, which was great. Then you have Braden Schneider stepping up after Jacob Trouba's injury, and then David, I saw that on Twitter. I saw a tweet, somebody posting about Letang just having his, I think it was Stefan Rosner, the Islanders writer, said that Letang had his 6th assist. I was like, wait, what? I was like, did I just read that right? And I went and I checked the score again after that. I was like, holy crap. Couldn't even believe what was going on. It was 7-0 at that point. So, yeah. And then the Rangers come back. I mean, with the 3 quick goals, the 2 goals were within, I think, 40 seconds of each other. And the 3 goals in total were in a span of just about 5 minutes. That was great. Rangers looked great for, I would say about 85% of that period. They dominated the play in that period. So that was great. They really, and you know what, the Capitals looked like an older, slower team. And the Rangers used their youth, their speed, and their skill to take advantage of that. And that's what they should have done. And just as I was talking about before, about them, taking their foot off the pedal earlier on in our stream, they did the exact opposite. They go back to Laviolette's ways in the 3rd period. Washington starts taking chances. The Rangers just start to convert on them. Oh, but yeah, and just great 3rd period. Suffocated them badly. Took away the middle of the ice. Took away the neutral zone. Capitals had no answers for it. Spencer Carberry looked like he was the student teaching the teacher the last time around, but the teacher definitely gave the student an ass whipping and a lesson this time around. And they followed Laviolette's game plan in the 3rd to a T, and they just absolutely frustrated the Capitals. Absolutely frustrated. Yeah, I'm with you on this, Jeff. When Brett and Mika are on fire, this team is very, very tough to handle, because then you have 2 lines that are going at the same time, and then you have a solid bottom 6 that's just giving you energy, production, and just wearing down opponents. That's really what you need from this team. It would be nice if one of those 2 bottom 6 lines could give you some extra pop offensively, but when Filipino comes back, I think you're going to see a little more of that. So, but yeah, post some other things here. Igor Shesterkin, he got his mojo back. You could see him definitely in the 3rd where he was making those saves, where he made that one save on Faravari, I think it was. Just came out and absolutely snagged that puck out of the air and was like, get the hell out of here. I mean, Igor Shesterkin looked great tonight. Jason, what's going on, buddy? But yeah, Shesterkin just looked like he was himself again. The body language, the preciseness of his movements, his timing, was Connor McMichael. That's right. Sorry. Yeah. But I mean, he just looked great. Absolutely great. Yeah, twice in one day, Jay. This is new. This is definitely new. But they did the way that he just, everything that Igor was doing was with a purpose, was with conviction. He seemed very, very sure of himself tonight. And that was great to see. The Rangers need that. We talked about Mika before. He's staying red hot. Continues to put up points. Multiple point game for him. Panarin continuing to put up points. Another multiple point game for him. And we talked about Jacob Trouba's injury, but Keandre Miller and Braden Schneider step up in his absence, and they both got better as the game went along. So great to see the 2 of them play well, especially with the way that I've been all over Schneider this year. And just overall, a big revenge and statement win to come back from the Christmas break. Yeah. Chris Kreider walking on water. Christ Kreider. Yeah. Oh, Mark. What a gem of a human being. I like the adjustments that they made in the 2nd period, too. They were having a lot of trouble getting through the neutral zone in the 1st. They weren't getting the chances. They were getting frustrated. Laviolette makes the little adjustment in the 2nd period, and then they start scoring goals after after Fox makes the bad pinch and Mantha scores on the 2-on-1. Looks like that game is going to go right into Washington's favor. They're going to fall in their trap. And then Washington, they're not the same team when they're down. When they're down, they're screwed because they cannot score goals in bunches. They'll get 1 or 2 a game. Things you wouldn't see under Gallant for 500. Oh, great. You went to the game with Matt and had some shirt idea. Oh, my God. That'd be great. I can't even begin to imagine what you guys are going to do with Mark. So, yes, Diane, definitely nice to have a coach who knows how to make adjustments. Yeah, because Gallant couldn't do that for sure, just like B-Rai said before. Steven says, this sounded weird, but it's uneventful 5-1 win. We played a good game, but nothing super flashy. No incredible, memorable non-goal moment. I wouldn't say that with Igor. Igor was definitely flashing the glove tonight. There were definitely some plays that could have went in, but I see what you're saying. There's no highlight reel goals or anything like that, but you don't need highlight reel goals to win, and you're not going to get those a lot in the playoffs. So this is the type of game that they're going to have to play come playoff time. NYR for life thought this was Miller's best game. Yeah, I definitely agree. And tell Dylan I said hi. Is Ovi struggling or is this down? I think this is the downside. I think that I did the numbers before. Ovechkin's played, I think, 1,522 games now. I think it was 1,521 when I checked the other day. I think it's 1,522 games now that he's played total between regular season and playoffs. And I think that his body, from the mileage that he has on it, is just broken. I think that you hit the wall at 38. And I've constantly made references to players like Messier, Gretzky, Sundin, and so on that have all hit that wall at 38 years old. And there's almost no coming back from it. I mean, Jágr is one of the rare few. Solani was someone who had an amazing year at 40. He had a couple of really good years after 40. Jágr had some couple of years after 40 years old. But you just do not see this type of production at that age. You just don't. So, but yeah, Stephen, I agree with you here. This is the type of game that you're going to play. And that's why I said it before, the verbatim, that this is the type of game that you're going to have to score goals like in to win in the playoffs. It's a handle your business type of game. And that's what they did tonight. They absolutely handled their business. You said in a very mature manner, or a very mature game, rather, they handled their business. That's the mature approach to it. Yeah, Evan, I did. Live layup talk is going to be really fun. I cannot wait. The way you guys are going to roast Mark, that's just going to be great. I'm excited for this. I am very excited for this. Yeah, and John, you're right about this. The top teams take apart the teams that are underneath them, and they pick them apart, and they beat them into submission. That's what the Rangers did tonight to Washington. Absolutely. And yeah, B-Rye and Jay, Jágr is absolutely just a robot. I'm convinced that two people in this world are robots. Jaromir Jágr, because I don't know how he's still playing hockey the way that he is at 50. And Keith Richards, because I don't know how you can do that many drugs and still be alive. There's no explanation to it otherwise. Keith Richards is a cyborg, I'm convinced. Go argue a brick wall for all I care. But yeah, this was just a great win for this team. Yeah, I've heard Elon talk. I could maybe see that, but I for sure Jágr and Keith Richards. Mark Williams, how efficient he is with layups. No, I don't think robots make gaffes like that. He's definitely not a robot or a cyborg. Steven posting a stat here. The New York Rangers have lost more man games through injury this season so far than all of last year. And despite that, they're at the top of the league. Yes, this is definitely worth talking about. So they are possibly about to lose Jacob Trouba. We don't know how long that's going to be. I'm obviously not watching Laviolette's presser, so I don't really have that information to give. But I will say this. This team finds ways to win. And that's why I said their song would be Whatever It Takes by Imagine Dragons, because they do whatever it takes to win these games. When they want to win these games, when they are focused, when they are bought in, when they are there, when they are active and attentive, this team is incredibly hard to beat. We have seen them play teams like Vancouver and Winnipeg, who have played them tough when they were on the back end of a Canadian 5-game road trip or a Northwestern North America, since Seattle's not Canadian. But I'll tell you this: the way they battled on that road trip, the way they battled against New Jersey, the way that they've battled against so many other teams. I mean, Detroit, Boston. You know, the second Boston, the first Boston game was a complete shootout. It was shootout at the MSG Corral. Yes, Seattle is the most Canadian. Actually, Alaska is probably more Canadian than anything in Washington. So we can't say that Seattle is the most Canadian city in the U.S. because Anchorage probably is. Anchorage, or anywhere in Alaska for that matter, whether it's Chicken, whether it's Anchorage, whether it's whatever weird other city name that they have in Alaska where they get like 1 hour of sunlight per day in the winter, that's pretty damn Canadian. So, yeah, Anchorage is barely a city, yes. So, Minnesota is also the side salad of the NHL, according to somebody in this chat right now. Actually, I don't even know if they're a side salad this year because they're not that good. Yeah, I'm going to highlight this comment right here. If they don't go on a run, it'll be nice because they're not playing their game. It's nice to see them come out with different styles of play. I can't remember the last coach who made in-game adjustments. That coach was probably Mike Keenan. Tortorella did not have in-game adjustment answers. He relied on a six shot blocker system. I'm pretty sure when you first joined HF boards, that was the thing that was going around, the 6 goalie system. That was the running joke on there because that's what Tortorella's system was just 6 goalies. Because, yeah, let's just block all the shots. But, yes, it was definitely Mike Keenan was the last coach to be able to make any type of adjustments. Colin Campbell was not a great coach. I don't think he was that great. I think he had some good talent on those teams. I think they had a better team or a better coach in 97. I think they could have found a way to get past the Flyers and maybe even beat Detroit. How much time does Don Granato have in Buffalo? I think he's got a pretty long leash. I don't think they're firing him anytime soon. Yes, please like, share, and subscribe. As Evan says, join Evan in his post game as well. I'm probably going to join him afterwards. I'm not going to be too much longer on here, so I will join Evan in a little bit for his. So we try not to overlap each other too much when we do these, so that this way we both get some viewers. But hopefully I'll see some of you all in Evan's stream as well, Rangers Central. Keenan was also not afraid to make examples of top players if they weren't playing up to par. Absolutely, Jay. Brian Leach was a big one. When Terry Yake had his hat trick at MSG, who got benched? Brian Leach did, because Brian Leach didn't want to play defense. There are times where I say that Peter Laviolette needs to give Adam Fox that kick in the ass and remind him, you may have won a Norris, but that doesn't mean that you are above reproach. Minnesota Wild are like mayonnaise at a steak dinner. It's there, but nobody cares. I don't know if I've ever seen mayonnaise at a steak dinner, but it is a pretty funny analogy. So yeah, it's definitely accurate to say the least. The Minnesota Wild are more like A1 steak sauce when you have Peter Luger's steak sauce and other gourmet steak sauces. Who the hell wants A1 when you have gourmet level steak sauce? Just saying. Don't even get me started about Brian Trottier, David, because those are some bad times. No way. Laviolette and the staff have the Rangers winning faceoffs, the forwards back-checking and playing a structured game that we haven't seen from this team in a long time. Yes, and VCPC, thank you for the shout-out, by the way, on Twitter. I saw that. I absolutely appreciate that. And yes, Steven, you're right. A good steak does not need steak sauce. But I love the shout-out on Twitter. I really do appreciate it. You also gave a shout-out for Evan, which is awesome. We try to just give good content post-game. I know I don't do these all the time. Evan's a lot more on top of that than I am. So he's always a good place to go if you want to talk hockey after the game. Sometimes I'm out watching with a friend. Well, actually, a lot of times I'm out watching with my friend. But so I don't always get home to do these. Sometimes I'll do them late if I have some time and I'm still, not too tired out after the game. So, but yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Yes. He did bench Messier. He did. He didn't care. He had balls of steel, Mike Keenan. And then the Kovalov with the 5 minute, the 10-minute shift, and Kovalov thinking he was doing something right, but it was just, yeah. Kovalov just didn't get it back then. He was young and naive. So, Ron Lowe, L-O-W, not to be confused with Kevin Lowe, L-O-W-E. And then John Muckler, yeah. Tortorella Part 1, if anybody remembers that one. That was very brief. The best hire was Pekka. Got us winning faceoffs, playing defense, and it looks like a young professor uncle dude just needs a pipe. Oh, man. Yeah, you know what? I love that hire. The second they brought him in, I gushed about the hires of Housley and Pekka. Because I knew that Pekka would help improve the faceoffs, and I knew Housley would work with the defense. I wanted Laviolette. I was one of those people on social media that was getting he's a retread. Where are all those people now? I just saw this right after I said that. Yeah, I got a lot of crap for suggesting Peter Laviolette and being happy about that. So, how do I feel about Tom Rennie? He's an average coach. Kind of got carried by Yager and Lundqvist. But I'll always have a soft spot for him because he was the guy there for the first 3 years and change. When the Rangers came back from the lockout. And he was the coach associated with the resurgence of the Rangers. And then coming back to respectability after being a complete shit show for years with a super high bloated payroll. So I will always have a soft spot for Tom Rennie in that regard. Yes, Jay, definitely. Hopefully we have that New Year's skate. But we'll talk more about that. I'll keep you updated. So good night. You got blasted on more than one channel. How many to? Yeah, you know what? Peter Laviolette's one of the only coaches in league history to take 3 different teams to the finals and win with at least one of them. Scotty Bowman is one of the other coaches that I'm referencing. Diane, yeah, I saw that piece. I don't think that's happening. I think he's just trying to tell a team to make sure that they keep Michael Pekka. Yeah, I do agree with you, Dave. This is one of the best coaching staffs that they've had in terms of assistants. The issue with Lavas was not that we won't improve. It's 2 years, 2 to 3 for now. I get that. Teams have good first years under him. I understand it. I don't think that I think in the other places, Laviolette's issues. All right, so in Nashville, they overachieved in 2017. They were never going to be the same team after that. That was kind of just a one and done run out of nowhere. In Philadelphia, he had Chris Pronger, and then he lost Chris Pronger due to injury. And then that team started going downhill, and Richards and Carter were party boys, and they were doing a little bit of something, let's just say recreationally, that they shouldn't have been doing, and that got them kicked out of Philadelphia. So that kind of just changed their trajectory there, and then Laviolette lost his job there. Yeah, it's Darius Kasparaitis is a very funny guy. We had him on here. He was great to us. Just a very, very funny dude. He was another one that came over, one of the earlier Russians to come over, Lithuanian, really. But I mean, he was, he lived under the Soviet regime over there. So I have a lot of respect for Darius Kasparaitis. Still lives on Long Island, I believe in Northport, if I'm correct. So Fred Shearer was the only coach we hired in a lifetime, going back to Emile Francis, that had a better resume than Laviolette. Retread my ass. There's a reason why Laviolette's a retread, because he's a great coach. So you can call it that if you want, but let's just say I actually saw the pictures of them partying with girls. They were floating around online, and it definitely looked like they weren't just drinking. I can tell you that. Yeah, Bruce Cassidy was a retread in Vegas. He won. He was also a retread in Boston. Nobody remembers the fact that he was the Capitals coach back in the day when Yager was there. He took over for Ron Wilson. So this whole retread thing, I can't stand it. It's, he's a retread. We want someone new blood. Okay. So you want Spencer Carberry when you're trying to go to win a Stanley Cup? Sullivan wasn't necessarily a retread, though. Where did he? I know he was an assistant under Tortorella. He was an assistant with the Rangers. Oh, he coached in Boston. 03, 04, 05, 06. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's what everybody looks at. And they look at Cooper and Bednar, and they say, "Oh, they won coach. They won without being retreads." Yeah, no. Yeah, let's just take extreme examples of one of the best coaches of our generation in Cooper, and then Bednar, who had all this talent in Colorado. So yeah, no one ever looks at the first time coaches that were terrible. Brian Trottier, Ron Lowe, You can think of so many others that were just terrible. Yeah, there's a difference between a team figuring out how to coach and then a team going to 10 different teams. David Quinn was, another one who was terrible. Terrible coach. And still is. Yeah, Carter definitely helped LA win that first cup. I mean, him and Richards. I mean, they had a 1-2-3 punch down the middle in LA of Kopitar, Carter, and Richards. And that absolutely killed the Rangers. That killed them. Well, it killed them in 2014, but they killed New Jersey in 2012 with that center depth. I don't like the whole retread argument. I think it's stupid. I think people get so caught up. Yeah, and you hear names like Sheldon Keefe because people want new blood. They want to get rid of the old boys club and the mentality that comes with it. So do you still want to get rid of the coach that's got you first in the NHL in points, has the best record in the league? I don't hear those people now. I don't hear those people at all. So but I'm going to go for like another, I would say like 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to probably hop on Evan's stream. So get some questions and comments in. Yeah, what has Sheldon Keefe done for Toronto? What has he done? Nothing. Yeah, the refs hurt the Rangers too. Dwight King, so on, but that's, I'm not going to beat the dead horse there. Look at Anaheim. Up 4-2 on Vegas right now. And Anaheim's got 14 shots on goal with just about 3.5 minutes left in the second. And they've got 4 goals. That's incredible. I'm probably going to have center ice going on my thing here. Scored 4 on their first 8 shots. That's insane, Anaheim. Arizona tying up Colorado late in the third. Yeah, B-Roy, I think they're going to make a deadline move. I don't think it's going to be a big one. I think it'll be cheap. Colorado and Arizona's got 2 minutes left. Winnipeg's on a power play right now. What a MILF at the freaking Blackhawks game. Holy shit. She had her 2 kids with her. She was freaking hot. My God. Gotta love hockey moms. But, this Chicago game is interesting. Winnipeg has about 1:10 left in power play, unless I'm behind the stream, which I know. I think it's going to be something like Sean Monahan, Stephen. I really do. I think it's going to be something like Monahan. I think that's what they're going to look at. You're going to see something like that. Kako and Hedel will be good pick. They'll come back probably before the playoffs. I think they'll add maybe Monahan and maybe a depth defenseman. I don't think they're going to add a big thing. I don't think they're adding Patrick Kane. That's definitely not happening. Carolina and the Devils won, so looks like everybody but the Islanders and Capitals getting points in the Metro tonight. Wheeler is playing better. I do have to give him that. David says, I think Keith will be like another Quenneville, has a lot of success, can't win it, learns from that, goes. So it's maybe like a Buck Showalter type guy. Yeah, I agree with this, John. The deadline moves will be based on Hedel and Kako and how they look and when the team thinks that they'll come back. Patrick Kane's ship has sailed. Yeah, I don't think that's happening anymore. I don't think they want Patrick Kane anymore. I think they want somebody. I think they want somebody who is going to play a little tougher game, play a little quicker, not going to have to worry about an injury. You know, if he gets hit pretty big, and I hate these Arizona jerseys. They're not terrible, but you brought back the Kachinas, and you're still using these. Like they're not great jerseys by any means. They're not terrible. These the burnt red and off-white looking jerseys. They're not terrible looking, but they're really not great either. They look more like a college hockey jersey. Yes, Wheeler is playing better, but he's still hard to watch. Couldn't agree more. Probably go like a couple more minutes. And then hopefully I'll see you all on Ranger Central Evans post game because I'm going to jump in there. Rangers trading for Dennis Gilbert. Needed Gilbert on the team to win the Cup in 94. Yes, I know that they play in a college arena, but those jerseys are. Do I think Shesterkin plays Florida or Tampa? With the way that he's playing right now, I don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters. He's going to play the way he's been playing lately. Whatever they want to do. Ooh, yeah. Big Apple hockey lace-up hoodies. Yeah, with the hockey laces. Yeah, that's definitely something I would want. Definitely something I would want. So the schedule itself is Friday against Florida. And that, I believe, is at home. No, that's away. And then Saturday in Florida as well. And then they don't play again until the day after New Year's. They play Carolina. Then they have Chicago. And then they have Montreal. So that's, if they can come away with the 2 wins against the Florida teams, then they should be able to, I would say, go 4-1 in these next, or I'm sorry, 3-1 at least in these next 4. Oh yeah, 4-1. Sorry, I'm losing it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay, Phil can add. But yeah, the Florida trip, and then you come back home for Carolina, Chicago, and then you go to Montreal. So, but you should be able, if you win both of those Florida games, you should be able to go, I would say, 4-1, 3-2 at worst. So if they at least come out with 3 out of those 5, they're good. Wow. Was that Nichushkin that almost scored there? Yeah. So, yeah, and you'll never know what everyone else starts to do. So who thought the Islanders were going to get absolutely just stomped by Pittsburgh tonight? So I don't think Tampa's done. I do wonder about how they'll make any type of improvement at by the deadline, though, because they don't have cap space, and they have a Steven Stamkos situation to worry about too. So that's going to be an interesting thing. I don't think Tampa's going to be out of the picture at the deadline. So, but Isamont would be a very good ad for the bottom six. Has some skill, plays with a lot of energy, a lot of pace. Can absolutely kick up the tempo. Yeah, the crazy that the Rangers almost got Stamkos, years ago. Years and years ago. We're talking about like 15 years ago that almost happened. So. Oh, my God. Colorado's dominated this overtime. But, so I'm going to go, though. I will hop over to Rangers Central. So hopefully I'll see you guys in that post in that stream over there. Great win tonight, 5-1. So enjoy it. And we have another game Friday against Florida. Hope you all had a great Christmas. You have a good night. And let's go Rangers.